What's good with y'all, man? So this story time, it's around summer, okay? I get a call from my man's named Francis, right? Francis, he's a longtime friend of mine, you know what I'm saying? He has a very church-oriented family. He himself, like, you would not think of church when you like talk to him. Like when if you meet him and you know him in real life, like he's the opposite of church. He be out all night drinking, doing whatever, just outside. He's an outside type of person, always around females. He be in the mix. He's one of those type of people. But his family is very extremely church oriented. Like wake up, service, all that. It's always been like that since we were kids. So I guess at some point, you know what I'm saying, around this time, this is like summer 2022. So we're like 22 at this time. And I guess throughout the years, he eventually just adapted church amongst his lifestyle. Because obviously when you're younger, you have to go. But as you get older, I guess he just eventually, his family would be there. Sometimes some of his friends. So he would just, he would still go to church. And this one day he was like, just told me to pull up, like, yeah, Naeem, we about to go to this, I guess you would call it like a church event, an away event, because this place was like farther away from us. I'm not gonna say the exact name of the place, but yeah, we're going somewhere upstate. Okay, so it's like we have to get up super early in the morning. He tells me to pull up. He always invites me to these family events because I think he sees me as like a family friendly person amongst all his other friends. So he always like, yo, nah, like, yeah, pull up to this, family event or whatever. So he'll tell me to pull up to stuff like this, right? So we gotta wake up like early in the morning and we get on this bus. You know what I'm saying? It's all some of his family members and the different church people. I forgot what is he exactly, like the name of the type of, I don't know if he's a 7-day Adventist or I forgot like the actual name because there's like different names of churches and stuff. But yeah, we go and we get up early, 6 a.m. We get on the bus and we start moving and we go to this area upstate. I noticed once we got there, like the service was awful. Like you can't even use your phone. So you pretty much like once we get to this grassy, a lot of landed area, I just know our bar to the phone just went to like 1 to none. So like you could barely use your phone. So I remember pulling up there, our bus comes, and then you just see a bunch of other buses pulling in. It's the different churches all like gathering together. I remember Francis, he dapped some people up. He's like, yo, like I know some of them because I know some of his family and I've been to some of these places before. So I know some of them, I dapped them up. And we go into like this little area where people just like talk and whatever. So a bunch of like some of his people go in and I go in with them and then we just all start chatting, right? So I remember some of the conversations going like, yeah, yo, Mary, I think, yo, she's still stripping, and then I'll be like, word, like, yeah, Mary she still be stripping. And then this other boy talking about, yeah, yo, Daniel, Daniel was just messing with at the church just last week. Like one thing I'm not gonna lie, like guys do be gossiping. Like it's not just girls. Like men do be gossiping. Like once they all get together, bro, it's just a conversation about you talking about women, you talking about drama. Like it's just like it's a thing that I just noticed. Like men definitely do be like girls is not the only one that be gossiping. That's all I'm gonna say. Like men do be talking about stuff that has nothing to do with them. But they just was like talking about a bunch of like with females and this and church politics and and they was also saying like, yeah, like, yo, church, like these people are not what they seem like they really like these girls and like these people, they really be getting down on the low. And after we get out of that little chatting spot, we start walking around because it's like a big place. I'm just gonna call it like the Skyland Resort. We're at this Skyland Resort place, okay, for this church, Skyland Resort place. It's a bunch of people. It's early in the morning at this time, but we we end up staying there like the full day. So I'm gonna go in the events that I remember of what happened, but it's like still early in the morning, so we're walking around. Me and Francis are just talking, walking with some of his people. Some of them is playing. There's like a basketball court. Some of them is playing basketball. At this time, some people might have been eating, or like I want to say that they're eating, but stuff is getting prepared because it's still early, so stuff is getting prepared. Me and Francis is walking around, talking to different people, and then I remember somebody calls out to him, like, I hear a female's voice, like, Francis. At some point, we look back. It's these two girls, right? They're sitting down. These two people, I've never seen them before, but Francis, he knows everybody, and he's well acquainted with them. Come to find out, one of their names is, we're just gonna say Ari, and the other one's name is Tiana. They're both cousins, right? Francis talks to Tiana, like, he don't talk to her, but it's like that's a girl that he was either currently messing with or has messed with before in the past. So him and Tiana are just, they're already like just locked into their conversation. So I start looking at him, like, he introduces us, and the other girl's name, like I said, is Ari. So me and Ari kind of start talking a little bit. I come to find out, like, yeah, she lives in the same area as me. Ari is a little younger than me because at the time, like I said, I'm 22 and she's, I think, 19. So I'm a little older than her. But we start talking, and we kind of start hitting it off a little bit. Like, I forgot what exactly I thought about her. I thought she was kind of cute. What really got me was like her personality. She was very sweet. Like, she had a very soft voice, and she wasn't super short. She was shorter than me. I'm not that tall. I'm like 5'9". So she was shorter than me, but not super short. And I liked her conversation. Like, she had nice conversation. So that's what really like drew me in. Like, she was telling me about, I've been coming to church since I was a kid, and I a lot of times, like, I'll be helping around, and I just like to. She pretty much says that she's really like just very God fearing and stuff like that. And I was kind of like attracted to the stuff that she was saying. I wouldn't say that I was super attracted to her. She was cute, but I wasn't like super like, that wasn't the thing that drew me in. It was more so the stuff that she said, right? Me, her, Tiana, and Francis was all sitting at this bench. He's on one side, girls across from him. I'm on the same side as him. Ari is across from me, and like, we just was talking that like for a little minute. Like, we was talking for a little minute, and I was just remembering like her, like, just telling me her backstory. Like, yeah, like, this is where I'm from. I love going to church. Very God fearing. I usually, like, I be going out, but she's saying like she stays in the house most of the time. A typical thing that girls be saying, like, oh, I'm a homebody, and I don't really got that many friends. I just got my little two or three girls that I be hanging out with and stuff, and that's it. And I just be really like, I go out with them sometimes, but I mainly be at church, mostly just helping out, doing different things. I really love going to church, and I just really I like the fact that when you talk to people and you just kind of have an idea of them, like, you don't know them, especially like in this situation. This is my first day of meeting her, but when you talk to a girl and like y'all talking for the first few weeks, and you start to form an idea of them, and you don't really know this person like that. You don't really know what type of person they are, but you form an idea. So I started forming an idea of this girl Ari in my head, like, oh, like, she likes this. She be chilling. She not in the mix too much. She just be, doing her church thing, and she be hanging out, and we like some of the same stuff. And I think she's cool. I'm kind of like, I'm feeling her a little bit, right? After we stopped talking, this was like after we got off the bench and stuff like that, the people started calling us because they were gonna have, of course, it's like, it's an event, but it's a church event, so they're still gonna have service. So after we started talking and I met them and stuff on the bench, we end up having service. So everybody started sitting down in this certain area, and they had a little stage. That's when like the pastor and the bishops and reverends, I don't really know the exact how to categorize the different church people, but I'm just saying, you know, pastors, all that, all the church people are there talking, they're having service. I was half falling asleep at a certain point because, you know, when it comes to like church events, it'd be, bro, I always say, like, if you go to one church service, you don't went to them all. Like, if you go to one, you sit down and you go to the service, like, they say, I'm not saying you should be, you know, you go to church, you should listen and all that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. We had to get up early and all that stuff. So I was just like not purposely going to sleep, but I just started nodding off at different points and coming back, nodding off, coming back. And like I said, they're just up there talking, you know, talking and stuff. Finally, at some point, whether it was like an hour or so, the church, the service ends, and then everybody gets to go back to doing what they want to do. So I'm ready to like, I'm like, man, I want to just go to talk to Ari, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's Ari at? Me and Francis at first are just, I think we're just with each other. And then that's when like music starts playing, food is ready. So the event is really starting to like boom up now. Cause at first it was early in the morning. At this time, it's probably like afternoon. So the event is really happening now. Ari and me are sitting next to each other. Him, Francis and Tiana are sitting next to each other. I just remember them. You know, she's all on his body crazy. Like, she just was super on Francis. Like, Francis, I'm not gonna lie, he's like a ladies man, bro. Like, he's always been like a player, bro. Like, he could just go into a spot, he talking to like where the women at. I wouldn't say that Ari was really like super, like, you know how you could tell when somebody's talking to you, like if they're really like into you. She's talking to me and stuff like that, but I think I don't know how she's really perceiving me. Like, I wouldn't say she wasn't flirting with me or nothing like that. I was more so like I was into her more. Like, I'm just like, yeah, like I'm saying low key stuff, like trying to say like oh, like what type of boys do you like that? Like what type of guys do you like that? And I remember she said like, yeah, I like older guys. She said she likes older guys. So I'm like 3 years older than her, which is not by that much. Like, she's 19, I'm 22. In my head, I was thinking like, oh, well, she likes older guys. Well, I am an older guy, so I'm thinking like, oh shoot, like maybe she was like throwing a little hint. I don't think it really was a hint in hindsight, but we was just talking or whatever. Now, I remember at this point, all four of us are just sitting down, and next thing you know, I see a guy from the church just pull up, a pastor, right? A pastor or a bishop, whatever he is, right? Something like, he was one of the people that was on stage talking at the service, right? He pulls up and he starts talking to the girls. Specifically, his attention was really on Ari. So he was talking to both of them. I think Francis and Tiana got up and went somewhere else, and it's just us three. Is me, Ari, and this this pastor or whatever, right? They're talking, and they're at first like, I'm hearing some of the conversation. I guess they kind of already know each other. I think they knew each other, because they were like talking about like the church that they were at, and talking about some of the different people or whatever. And at first the conversation was just kind of like regular, you know what I'm saying? Like a older guy just talking to one of, you know, his many church goers, you know what I'm saying? They're just casually chatting. But then I noticed at a certain point, like, number one, he's there for a minute, and then it's like at first he's standing up, then he starts sitting down. He's sitting down, he starts laughing with her, da-da-da. And at first, I'm just thinking in my head, like, oh, you know, it's so good that, you know, Ari's just, you know, she's so in tune with the church and the people. And I'm just thinking like, oh, she's just such a good girl. But then it gets to a point where he's, like I said, he's there for a minute now. Like, he's talking to her, laughing. He starts like you know when you're like a guy is talking to a girl and he starts like kind of like they be laughing and like they just start touching, like they start touching like you laughing like so you just start touching them and holding onto their arm and to their shoulder and stuff like that. So I'm just looking at this, like looking at how this is playing out, and I'm like, damn, like he's pretty much just sitting here just talking it up with Ari, and I'm just sitting here like, damn, like could he like, you know, like dip, like let me get some alone time with this girl. But he's not leaving, like he's sitting there just on her, like he just on it, like, you know, like a guy be on a female, like he's on her, like just talking it up. So I'm just like, damn. So at first I'm kind of trying to at first I'm just quiet, and then I get up, I go use the bathroom, and then I don't go straight back, but I'm just kind of like, I guess you could say, not watching from afar, but I'm standing here, and then they're just at this table like a little bit feet away from me. So I start to try to signal Ari. At first she's looking at me, and while she's still talking, but then she looks, and then she just keeps talking to the pastor. So I'm like, okay. So then I'm standing there for a minute just waiting for this conversation to be over, but it's just not ending. So still standing there, they're starting to get up, still talking to each other. So at first they're sitting down talking to each other, then they get up talking to each other. I try to wave over to her again to kind of say like, all right, Ari, like enough with talking to like these church people, like could we, like, you know what I'm saying, like resume back to regular, like why are you still talking to him? She's still talking to this guy. First she's looking at me, and then she's just paying me no mind at all. So at a certain point I just give up. Like at first I'm trying to like get her attention, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I start to sit down, and at first they're in this location, and then they're just gone. So I'm pretty much just by myself at this point. Like I said, Francis went somewhere with Tiana. Ari just went away with this pastor or whatever, and everyone is just like kind of just doing their own thing, and I'm just sitting here alone. I'm like, damn, like what's up, like. And I'm sitting there honestly for like a little minute, because I don't know that many people there. You know what I'm saying? I know some of the people there, but I'm not super like I'm not super cool with I'm not super cool with anybody there besides Francis. So I'm just kind of sitting there by myself like, damn, bro, like I'm just alone, bro. Like, where's my people at? Son, Ari just she just left. She's not even trying to like kick it with me, like what's up? So I'm just sitting there, bro. At first my head is up. I'm just like trying to act like I'm involved in the event. Then I just put my head down. I'm just like, bro, like I'm just sitting there. So after some time goes by, I see Tiana, Ari's cousin, and she's like, dang, everybody just left you? I'm like, yeah, I asked Tiana, I'm like, yo, where's Francis at? Of course, Francis, you know, he's on top of everything. So Francis, I peeped, Francis left Tiana, and he's with one of his other men who goes to the church. They're talking to a female. Yeah, I'm just sitting there with Tiana, like, I think we were just talking a little bit, then we separate or whatever. I, at some point, finally, link back up with Francis or whatever. So I'm talking to Francis, I'm like, oh, I see you doing your thing, He's laughing, haha. Now around this time, it's starting to like get dark. So me and Francis are just like, just walking, talking. We start to notice like a lot of like the church people, like the elders, church. I'm just calling them the elders because these are like the pastors, bishops, and all of them. We start to see them outside. I notice it's like a change. Once nighttime comes, the party already started, but now the party is really like amping up. Like I'm seeing the pastors or whatever, they got they're drinking, they got bottles, cups and stuff, and they're just, you know, I'm thinking like at first I'm thinking it's a church party, but now it's like it seems like it's becoming a regular party. Like I see the pastors out there, they just cooling, group of them just laughing, joking, I see literally one of the pastors talking to one of the girls, like kind of like what I was saying with Ari, like the guy, he's just over here arm resting on the female, and they're talking, laughing. So me and Francis just looking at each other, right? Just looking at everything going on. He's like, yeah, bro, like, yo, when the lights go out, bro, like, yo, it gets down. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, bro, like, you trolling. He's like, nah, bro, like, yo, you be surprised, bro. Even the pastors, like, you know, when it's that time, like, they want something, like, they trying to score something too, like. And I'm just not paying him no mind. I'm like, yo, bro, it's like, you bugging, bro. Whatever. I'm just looking at him like, yo, you trolling, whatever. Me and Francis, we go into like this building or whatever, right? Go into this building. At this point, Tiana circles back. He's chatting up. Tiana sitting on his lap or whatever. They're over here just, you know, doing their little thing. So I'm like, damn, like, where's Ari at? You know what I'm saying? I start thinking about Ari. I'm like, dang, bro, like, we was doing so good in the beginning, like it could have like it was leading up to something. I wouldn't even say leading up to something, but we were like, you know, that was supposed to be my little, you know, person for the party. Like, you're my little where's she at? They're having like church games or whatever, and I look over to Francis and Tiana, and I'm looking at Tiana. I'm like, yo, Tiana, like, where's your cousin at? Like, where's Ari? She's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know where Ari is at. So it's like, I'm like, at some point she has to show up, because this is like the last, like, this is the main event. Like, you know, everybody, all the different church people are out talking, joking, da da da. At a certain point, like, yeah, time is going by or whatever. I'm thinking like, yo, this girl, like she has to show up at some point, right? So I'm just waiting. And time just keep going by. And I'm asking Francis, I'm like, yo, bro, Ari is like, you sitting over here talking to Tiana, you know, doing your thing, whatever. Where's Ari at, bro? Like, she's just gone, bro. Like, where is she at? Like, she's just disappeared, bro. Like, maybe we should go look for her, because it's dark outside now and we're all inside. Like, where is Ari? He's just like smiling, laughing. He's like, hey, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When was the last time, like, you seen her? I was like, oh, well, we was all, remember when we was all talking, we had our food, I think she was with, one of the pastors in the blue suit. Like, yeah, he came over there, he started talking to her, they was laughing, whatever, and then I remember they just dipped, bro. That's the last time I seen her. Francis over there just grinning, like, he's like, hey, man, I'm not gonna lie to you, Ari might dead be with the pastor, bro. I'm like, with the pastor? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, with the pastor? Like, what do you mean? Like that's her, like, that's the pastor, bro. He's like, yo, no, I mean, like, he's like, yeah, like, I know he's the pastor, but like, she might really, like, be with him, like, they're together right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, they together, bro. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? Like, we're at a church event, bro. Like, this is a church event. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're bugging, bro. Like, I'm just like, at first, like, I'm laughing it off. And then after some time goes by, right, Ari is still nowhere to be found. Like, it's like, literally, it's getting later. It's probably like, I want to say like 10 p.m. now, because we was there pretty late. Ari is still nowhere to be found. I'm looking over at Francis. I'm just like, yo, bro, like, still no Ari. And then he's like, bro, she's Ari is with the pastor, bro. Just forget about her. And now I'm starting to get tired. I'm like, yo, bro, stop playing with me, bro. She's not with the pastor, bro. Like, why would she be with the pastor, bro? Like, stop playing. Like, at this point, I'm getting kind of tight, because it feels a little like, you know, it's like, imagine you going on a two-man mission or whatever, and then the girl that you're supposed to be with, it's not like this is my girlfriend, but the girl that you're supposed to be with is just like, you just lost her. Like, it's pretty much, that's how I kind of feel at a certain point, because he's kind of like throwing it in my face, because he said that a few times, like, yo, bro, like, yeah, bro, your girl is really, like, she gone, bro. Like, she got taken. Like, you really let him take your girl? Like, he's starting to get under my skin a little bit with keep saying that. So I'm like, yo, bro, honestly, bro, stop playing with me, bro. Like, she's not with him, bro. Honestly, I'm ready to go look for her, because I'm like, yo, bro, it's dark. Like, what if something happened? That's what I'm thinking in my head. Like, what he's saying, I'm like, no, it's no way. I'm like, she might have got hurt, or not hurt, but something might have happened and there's a reason why she's not here right now, right? So I'm about ready to go look for this girl, right? And then right when I'm like kind of like on my last, like, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm about to go find this girl. Out of nowhere, I just feel like, you know when you feel a presence behind you? I just feel like a presence behind me. Out of nowhere, I just hear this voice, and he's like, hey, young people. I see this arm around me. I look over, and it's the pastor from earlier in the blue suit that was allegedly went somewhere with Ari.